Hello, partners. This week we go to the neighborhoods of one of the nation's most beautiful cities, San Francisco, for a story of a man who made a big difference. He was a crusader, even though he never set out to be a crusader. He had a most unusual name also. It was James San Jewel. He lived to be nearly 90 years old, and during his long lifetime he became a tireless crusader for the rights of common people. Yeah, but look, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We got too much of a story for you. James San Jewel and I were born less than a year apart, and we both grew up in Oklahoma. That's right. At an early age, he ran away from home and spent several years riding the rails. He was what President Herbert Hoover called a boy hobo. Yeah, he eventually wrote a book about the Great Depression and his life with the homeless men he met. It became a bestseller. When he finally settled down, it was in San Francisco. He worked odd jobs and finally got a degree in engineering. But when he found out that he could make more money working on the docks of San Francisco, he dropped his engineering plans and became a longshoreman. That's right. Soon, though, someone discovered that he had a talent for writing. You know who that man was? It was discovered that his writing skills was done by none other than John Steinbeck, the man who wrote Grapes of Wrath. So James San Jewel became friends with Steinbeck and wrote his book about his travels as a hobo. By the late 1940s, our honoree had gone to work in San Francisco for the housing department. He made such a name for himself for his work in helping people of all colors and faiths to getting housing loans that when the Department of Housing and Urban Development was set up in 1965, San Jewel was one of the creators of the agency. Meanwhile, back in San Francisco, he was building affordable housing for people. It's thought that he built over 3,000 middle-class homes in San Francisco over the years, more than any other developer. So, he was not the kind of patriot that we think about, but he was a patriot for the common man. Let's say his name again. It was James San Jewel. So I'll see you next week, but until then, you know the drill. Find that great big red X up there at the top and click it, and you will magically be transported back to the report page. I love you guys.